Hi there, Capricorn. Welcome to your 3 cards for September. So this month we kick it off with a cluster of planets in Virgo, or a stellium. So August 29th, Mercury goes into Virgo. The 30th of August, we have the new moon in Virgo, so there's 2. Plus the sun is 3. Plus Venus and Mars are also in Virgo, making 5. So we kick off September in a very Virgo mood. And Virgo is good with Capricorn. Virgo is your 9th house, which is travel and higher learning, ethics. It can be an excellent time for you to be studying something. Buckle down, read something that you haven't, reread something that you need to, figure out if there's any missing clauses or details or something where you're like, oh, you've been too frustrated to go and look at it because it's like picky, nitty, gritty detail stuff, and you're like, now you might have the patience and the mindset to find the solution and plug through it. Great time to get organized, cleaned up, tear something apart, rebuild it, that kind of thing. So for you guys, it should be a good energy, but you also might find there's a lot of anxiety in the air because Virgo and all that analysis and all of that. But maybe this and this fits there, and tomorrow at 2 p.m. or no, at 2:15, and like when people are like all the time in their head, sometimes that can make people very anxious. So you just might want to focus on the purification side of Virgo. Maybe you want to do a cleanse. Maybe you want to meditate a bit more, because Virgo's trying to attain this pure state. Purification. This is why they're doing all that thinking and analyzing. All right, let's take a look for your cards, but first, this month I'm going to burn juniper, which I got in Sedona, Arizona. Juniper trees twist and turn so much with the energy of the vortexes in Sedona that the bark actually twists off the tree. So it's considered special there, and basically it's sort of to bring you this higher vibration, this vortex energy. Transformation. I was guided to do this for this month, so I suppose a lot of people must need it or be ready for it. And we'll just use our little goose feather this time. All right, let's take a look at your cards. So the first card here is the 8 of Cups. Libra also got that one. The second card is 5 of Pentacles. And the third card is the 3 of Swords. Oh, well, this looks like you might be going through a rough time right now. I'll probably pull some more cards just to add to what I'm going to say. The 8 of Cups is, I worded it really well with Libra so I can bring it to you crystal clear. The 8 of Cups is about when we have difficulty accepting that we are all one. So if you don't feel that you are one with everybody, you're not a part of the world, you're not included, you feel abandoned, you feel nobody cares, and you say, well, why bother? Why should I make any effort? Why should I try? That's the 8 of Cups. It's a card of depression. Now, what's feeding the depression? There's a lot of worry. This card says worry. It's Mercury in Taurus. A lot of concerns perhaps about money, finances, job stuff, practical domestic stuff. And really the card is nothing more than that. It's just the ways that we worry. Worst case scenarios playing out. Doesn't mean they will. But if we feed it enough, then it does. But there's you're coping with some depression and anxiety, looks like. Now the 3 of Swords is the card of grief. Now, I'm not sure I can't say for a whole sign what you've lost, but I can say that the sorrow card means you feel you've lost something, or you're missing somebody that you're grieving. And the grief, I find, is usually the source of what's underlying the worry in the first place, or that sense of futility that comes with the Eight of Cups. Sometimes, you know, you just need to grieve something from a long time ago, and then it brings you back to the present moment, and you realize you are connected to people. I'm just going to give some more cards here because I don't like leaving people off on that note. So this is good here. The advice here is the Chariot. Now the Chariot means you need a bit of an armor. You might need a bit of an armor right now. You might feel like you need your protective shell. Or maybe you're dealing with someone who has that. I don't know. But it would sort of say the Chariot's about like having enough strength to overcome obstacles. The next card is nicer and easier as the Hierophant. So learning and reading and meditating and reflection and pulling back from activities a little bit in order to find some sense of clarity or enlightenment. Getting in touch with your inner child from a protected place with that Chariot there. The next thing would be, once you feel you've sort of gone into your protective shell enough that you've been able to let out some of this sadness, whatever that's coming up, or this worry or grief, once you feel a bit more restored, then the cards are great. You come back out of your shell and you socialize like hell. And you've got like Jupiter in Libra and Ace of Swords, and you will be back to your normal self, or to your happy self. But so right now, I would have to say that it's sort of like, take a look, if you're in this mood, think of it as a storm cloud, you know, and storm clouds stay and linger, and they go. It'll leave. Everything that we feel is temporary. And if you can really, I know it's hard when you're filled with worry or anxiety. It can be really hard sometimes to calm your body and your mind down enough to get in touch with the underlying feeling that's provoking it. And sometimes it is loss, and sometimes the grief goes way, way back and it's old, and it doesn't matter why it's coming up now. It just matters that you let it out. And so sometimes you just have like a huge cry or a huge scream. You don't have to know why, but you will feel relieved and released, and then you can start to process what it's about and what you need to do next about it. You will come back out of this mood, you know, and it might be temporary. Like I said, these Virgo planets are bringing a lot of anxiety in general to people, and so it could be a cloud of a couple of weeks, and then you pull through, but you will. And some of you, as we know astrologically, because I always talk about that, Pluto is in your sign. Now, Pluto's going to do that. It all depends when in the sign you're born. If you're early Capricorn, you've already had your Pluto transit. If you're up to maybe the middle of Capricorn, I think it's around 16 to 17 degrees right now, so we're right in the middle. So that means people born, you know, first week of January, possibly, yeah, up to like maybe the 10th or so, you might be feeling it the strongest. But Pluto brings this death and rebirth transformation to your life, and you will come out of it on the other side in the rebirth part of it. But if you need some help with anything, private reading, energy work, anything I could help you with, I work online or in person, and you can message me or email me at river-rain.com, or even faster, maybe Clairvoyant Medium Catherine Allen on Facebook and message me there. Lastly, I want to share with you that I have a book that's coming out October 22nd. I think this is backwards in the video. So It's out already for pre-order on Amazon.com and Chapters Indigo. And it's all about how to know when your intuition is real. What is intuition? How does it work? What ways does it speak to us? How do you know when it's real versus fear versus fantasy? What does it tend to be like when it's predictive? I go into all of that in details. And then I'm going to have some online courses ready and some training that will be available with me if you want to join me. So if you pre-order my book, I'd be a happy lady. And if you want to come to a book signing, I'm going to be doing one for sure in New York City and in Montreal and possibly Toronto, Ottawa. I still have to set things up. If you'd like me to come to your city, then you can message me and I'll do my best to see what we can do. I wish you a wonderful month, Capricorn.